This is exercise 2 related to alkane and alkene. Also weekly homework. Coming week you have to submit this. The first question is petroleum is a source of many important chemicals. Name 2 industrial processes which must take place to produce an alkene. Like we want to produce alkene from petroleum or a crude oil. So how it can be done? What we should do first, we have a petroleum or the crude oil. So what we should do to the petroleum so that first we get alkane. So which method we use to separate different hydrocarbons? Yeah, that's right. So good, we use fractional distillation. So fractional distillation, on the basis of the boiling point, the components are separated from each other. So by fractional distillation, the petroleum will produce alkane.
Then we can crack it.
Good. How like it produce different variety of alkane. Normally, the long chain alkane, we crack them or we use cracking. As a result, it will produce alkene. So answer here, the points you have to mention, one fractional distillation is having mark, another one cracking is having a mark. So first, fraction distillation of a crude oil will produce different fractions of alkene, and these long chain fractions or a heavy fractions are cracked to produce an alkene. In part B, ethene and propene, as the formula is shown, the structural formula, can be both converted into polymer. What type of polymerization take place when ethene form a polymer? Whenever, because we have 2 types of polymerization, one is addition, another one is condensation. So which kind of polymerization will happen whenever we have alkene? Is it addition or condensation?
Addition.
So it will be addition. So we'll have addition. Then the second part, what is the empirical formula of a polymer formed from ethene? So the polymer and the monomer both have the same empirical formula. What is the formula for ethene? Eth means 2 carbon and 4 hydrogen. That is a molecular formula. What is the simplest ratio between C2 and H4?
CH2.
CH2. So remember, any polymer is formed, even it is irrespective of ethene. If the same question was there, what is the empirical formula of polymer of ethene, butene, propene, pentene, hexene, any alkene is there, the polymer will always have empirical formula of CH2. So it won't change with the type of alkene. Even ethene polymer have the same empirical formula because empirical formula shows the simplest ratio between the atoms. So if it is a polymer of ethene, polymer of propene, polymer of butene, polymer of pentene, they all have the same empirical formula. Then a propene has a structural formula of CH2, CH and CH3. Draw the 2 repeat unit of the polymer. Remember one thing, whenever we want to draw a polymer, what we usually do, we rearrange the structure to make a monomer. So our monomer should appear like letter H. So here we have propene. As I mentioned, the structure of a propene is CH2, double bond, CH, and then CH3. That is propene. First thing, to draw a polymer, the first step is we rearrange the structure. And we rearrange so that the monomer should appear like letter H. So C double bonded with C, 2 bonds up, 2 bonds down. Like these are the 2 carbon have double bond, these are the 2 carbon have double bond. The first carbon is having 2 hydrogens, so 1 hydrogen up, 1 hydrogen down. The second carbon is having only hydrogen. The second having only hydrogen and 1 hydrogen, and then CH3 is there, so we put CH3. This is not a polymer, this is still a monomer. First we rearrange the structure. And then after rearrange the structure, we draw the same units, but without a double bond. So we draw the same unit.
And then represent two bonds and then make a bracket and show.
So this will be CH3, H, and CH3. And what we do, we link them together. So when we link them together, look, when they ask us to represent a unit, that time we don't have to draw a bracket because we just need like 2 units out of the whole polymer. These are the 2 units. Here we don't have to put a bracket and write n. Why we don't have to put a bracket and write n? Because in the question, they ask draw 2 repeat units. Like there will be a long chain
Okay.
polymer. We just need out 2 units out of that. That's why we are not writing it n or we are not putting a bracket. So this thing, remember, like if a question is draw 2 repeat units, like they did not say, if the same question was there and they said draw the polymer made from propene. If this was a question, then how the structure should appear? I will draw 1 or 2, it won't make difference, but then we'll put a bracket and write n. If the question was draw a polymer formed from propene, but the question is not draw a polymer, the question is draw 2 repeat units of the polymer. Like we just have to take 2 parts from the polymer. So this is one, as we did. So this is one unit, this is another unit, and they're linked together. Don't put a bracket, don't write n. Keep this thing in mind. According to a question, you have to answer. Is it clear, this part? That why we did not put a bracket and write n here?
Yes, sir, clear.
So don't put a bracket, don't write n, because the question is only draw 2 repeat units, like 2 parts from the polymer we have to draw. Polymer will be long chain. Polymer will have maybe n number of molecules linked with each other. We need only 2 out of that. Then ethene will react with the steam to form ethanol. Propene react with steam to form 2 isomers, both of which are alcohol. So we have to draw like propene react with steam. What will the product if propene react with steam?
Propanol.
Propanol.
Propanol. And it might be propane 1-ol, means the OH might be attached with the first carbon, or it might be propane 2-ol. The OH might be attached with the second carbon. Like both possibilities are there. The OH can be attached with any of the carbon. So we have to draw 2 isomers of these alcohols. So 3 carbon atoms. Prop means 3 carbon atom. If I'm drawing propane 1-ol, so OH is attached with the first carbon. As I mentioned, you have to repeat that the structure of this alcohol. So OH attached with the first carbon, and you can make it up or down, does not make any difference. Like I can attach OH on the top, I can attach OH at the bottom. It is the same thing. So this will have 2 hydrogens directly attached. This will have 2 hydrogen, and this will have 3 hydrogen. This is one. Propane 1-ol. And then what is propane 2-ol? The OH will be attached with the second. So OH attached with the first. This is propane. Propane 1-ol, or you can also say propanol. It's the same thing. And this is, you have to specify it is propane 2-ol. What 2 is representing? 2 is representing the position of OH, that OH is attached with the second carbon. Isomers means they have the same molecular formula, but they have different structures. You don't have to write the name, as they did not ask. Sometimes they ask to draw isomer, and sometimes they do ask like draw the structure, and This is question 2. Okay, this is the same question. Okay. Might be repeated. Yeah, might be pasted again. I will remove from that. Then alkanes and alkenes are there. Question 2, a petroleum is a mixture of a hydrocarbon, as you can see, and it is separated into useful fractions by fractional distillation. This can be done by using a fractionating column as shown. You can see the fractionating column X and different fractions are there. What happened to petroleum at point X before it enter a fraction? What we do to this crude oil or a
We
petroleum
heat
at
it.
we heat?
There is a heater.
Vaporizing.
We heat, yeah, heating, evaporate, boiled. These are all the terms used. You can use the term it is heated. You can use the term it is boiled. You can use the term it is evaporated. State two ways in which O and L are different. Like
L can ignite easily, while
yeah,
O can like
Yes.
ignition will be less.
yeah, like difficult. Need lot of oxygen to burn, right? What else?
O
And
is
How
also the
fuel oil.
carbon is
L is gasoline.
L is
Gasoline.
um instead of you need a just difference in the fraction, like you can mention a difference in terms of carbon, in terms of combustion, in terms of viscosity. Many are there.
Ga-
O
L
O
is a
will,
small molecule as compared to O.
yeah, so you can mention O will have a high boiling point, L will have a low boiling point, and the one which is having a low boiling point, it will have high volatility. Volatility means like it can easily be vaporized. This will have low
O
volatility.
also has higher viscosity.
O will have high viscosity, like thick or viscous. L will have low viscosity. O will have few carbon, like this will have more carbon atoms. And O is, as in the beginning you mentioned, like L can burn easily, and O difficult to burn, or O produce more energy if it is burned completely as compared to L. But again, as we need extra, like too much oxygen for combustion, any two differences you have to mention. Most of the hydrocarbon obtained from petroleum are alkanes. The alkanes are an homologous series of a saturated hydrocarbon with a general formula of CnH2n. Two characteristic rather than having a general formula. You have to learn the characteristic of a homologous series. The homologous series, they have a same functional group. Physics,
Difference from the first and the second is
Similar chemical
CH2,
properties.
yeah,
similar chemical.
similar chemical properties.
also Mr. increase by CH2 every time.
Each member differ by CH2. Successive member differ by CH2.
Same method
Same,
of preparation.
same method of preparation.
Yes.
And similar chemical properties we mentioned. Physical properties gradually change, like there's a pattern. Here are some characteristic of the homologous.
Same functional group.
Same functional group. That's a very important point. Like same functional group is one of the most important thing. Usually you will find that as the first point. Any two you have to write, you don't have to write all of them. Alkenes with a molecular formula of C5H12. What is the name of this C5H12?
This is
Pentane.
pentane. Pentane.
Pent, yeah, pent because of 5 carbon. and number of hydrogen are twice plus 2. So it will be N. The meaning of same functional group means like alkenes, all alkenes have a carbon-carbon double bond. Functional group is actually, it might be atom or a group of atoms which are attached to a carbon chain, or a type of a bond which is attached to a carbon chain which chemically change the property of whole compound. Like alkenes have all throughout the, like within the structure, there is a double bond. So alkene is a functional group. Alcohol means OH is there, that is also a functional group. Yeah, like ester linkage. Yeah, these are ester linkage or ester bonds are there, amide linkage. So these are functional groups which chemically change the properties. So uh, we have to draw the structure of two isomer of C5H12. This because it's an alkane, and as I
You can draw.
mentioned, yeah, you can use screen annotation. Draw two isomer.
Maintain pent to
Whenever you're drawing an isomer of alkane, first one, better draw the straight chain. First one, it's better you draw the straight, and the second one branch. Or first one is a branch, so second one will be the straight. So C5, like 5 carbon atoms in a straight chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then put hydrogen accordingly. And then 4 carbon atoms, but branch cannot be, you cannot put a branch with the first or the last. So branch is always either second to second last. And then put hydrogen accordingly. So these are the two isomers. So either first branch, second, whenever you're doing an isomer of alkane, the first one should be like, if first is branch, other is straight, if first is straight chain, other one is a branch. But don't place a branch with a first carbon, branch is always with the second one. Here, then you have to remove this carbon, Rafi. If you are making this as a branch, as this should not be there, as there are
yes.
five carbon atoms, so just put hydrogen here. Then the alkane, such as ethane is there, has a structure. When a mixture of ethane and a chlorine are exposed to ultraviolet light, the substitution reaction take place. Draw the structure of one organic product. Like for example, if what actually happened, like chlorine reacted with, so chlorine react with any alkane. When one chlorine take position of hydrogen, one hydrogen will be removed. So what will be the structure? Can you draw the structure of the organic product? Organic product means a product which contain carbon. Use different positions, don't overlap on the image. You can use different, like if someone is drawing at one place, use the other part of a screen. So a substitution reaction happen or occur, and one hydrogen will be replaced by chlorine. Explain what the name suggests.
Chloroethane.
Yeah, that was previous one was a chloroethane, but the question is isoprene is a naturally occurring hydrocarbon. Suggests like how the name suggests that it contain a carbon-carbon double bond. How from name
The
you understand?
functional group is En. It is an
So
alkene.
the name is ending at ene, or name consists of ene. So whenever name is having ene, it means there is a double bond. Then we have a sample. We have to work out the empirical formula. The empirical formula.
Divide percentages by molecular mass.
So divide by atomic mass, then divide by smallest value,
Yes.
and then we round off to calculate the empirical formula. So first we have 88.24 and then we have 11.76. We divide by atomic mass, so carbon will be 12 and hydrogen will be 1. 88.24 divided by 12, what's the answer?
7.35.
The others should use a chat. Those who are not participating, use the chat to state the answer. 88.24 divided by 12. What's the answer?
7.35.
7.35. And this will be remain as 11.76.
We can divide both values by 7.3.
So the second step is divide by smallest value in the combination, which is 7.35. So we divide both of them. What is the answer here?
11.76. It will be 1.6.
So this one is how much? This will be definitely 1. This one is how much?
1.6.
1.6. So now what we have one of the values 1.6. Now what we have to do, we want the nearest whole number because the simplest ratio should be in whole number. So which one I will multiply, like which number I should
And
multiply?
multiply by 5 to get 5:8.
Yeah. For how I will identify, look, if you don't understand which number I should multiply, that I should get a whole number. The simple rule is you start with 2. When I multiply both of them by 2, if for example, I don't know which number I should multiply to get the whole number, I multiply both of them by 2. So this will be 2 and this will be 3.2. So it is not giving me when I multiply, it should give me the whole number. But it is not giving if I multiply both of them, so I should not multiply by 2. What if I multiply both of them by 3? So this will be 1 and this will be 1.6 times 3. I think 4.8.
4.8, yes.
Yeah. So again, you can see if I multiply by 3, I don't get the whole number. If I multiply by 4, this will be 4. And when this is multiplied,
6.4.
6.4. So again, it's not a whole number. Then I multiply by 5. So multiply by 5, this will be 5 and this will be 8. So means when I multiply both of them by 5, it will give us 8.
So C5H8.
So then, so I should multiply both of them by 5. So C5H8. What additional information is required to calculate the molecular formula? How we can we have the empirical
molecular mass.
Molecular mass because the molecular formula equals empirical formula times n. So what additional information we need? N is molecular mass divided by empirical mass. So we need both of them. We need the molecular mass and we need the empirical mass to work out the empirical formula. Because this n you can only find by molecular mass over empirical mass. So you need both masses. Question 3. The alkanes and alkenes are both examples of a homologous series of a hydrocarbon. What is the term hydrocarbon means?
Compound which
Substances
contain
that
only
contain
hydrogen and carbon.
Compound contain carbon and hydrogen only.
Only.
One mark is for only, one mark is for hydrogen and carbon. I'm not writing it because we already have this discussion. 3 characteristics of homologous series.
Same functional
Same
group,
general
chemical
formula.
properties.
Same general formula, same functional group.
Each
method
member
of
differ by
preparation.
CH2.
Yes, Rafi. Same method of preparation. Yes, that's right.
Graduation in physical properties.
Physical properties gradually change. So that you will write here. Then name and draw the structure of a second member of alkene. What is the first member of alkene?
It is
Ethene.
Ethene.
Ethene. Because
Yes,
alkene
meth
started
will
with.
be 2.
So first member is ethene. We need the second member. What will the second member?
Propene.
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 So you have to draw the structure of propene. So first, because it's like meth, eth, prop, and so on. So we have to draw the structure of propene. Prop needs 3 carbon. So we draw 3 carbon atoms. One of them will have a double bond and remaining hydrogen will be there. So here we have to draw propene. So remember the first member of alkene is ethene and not methane. There is no methane.
Yes.
Because like there should be a double bond between the carbon atoms. That's why. Alcohols can be made from alkene. Name a reagent and a condition. I want to convert alkene into alcohol. How I can convert alkene into alcohol? Which substance I should react with?
By
alkene with
reacting with the
steam.
steam.
So react with steam. The
Acting
reagent
with
here
steam.
refers to chemicals, so steam, or you can also say water. And what are the conditions?
UV light.
Mhm.
UV is for substitution. Here we have high temperature. If it was substitution of alkane, then it is UV. For alkene, high temperature, and we use catalyst phosphoric acid. And you have to learn the name of the catalyst as well. So these are first 3 questions from exercise alkanes and alkenes.